Yeah, there's no perfect solution, you're right about that.
You know, and I know you guys have taken a lot of time, and there's a lot of good information here, and we welcome
Thank you.
the dialogue between the communities, and, and I wanna just, I know it's hard to come speak to a group who's mostly in opposition. There are some who support and some who are still undecided, so it's good that they're hearing this information, everyone is.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate that you're listening, and I appreciate that everyone has been civil tonight and asking questions and thoughtful questions and helping them better understand what they're getting into. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay.
And there's more of us that aren't here tonight either.
Right.
Have other questions or other.
Right, and this is why we're filming this, because there are a couple hundred people on our email distribution list. There are 550 households between Blackpoint and Greenpoint, and so we are filming this. It will be on YouTube, so people can, and also you'll probably take some still photos of some of this information, so more people can see this presentation, and we'll forward any questions we have to you guys, and hopefully likewise the answers back to them. You know, so we want to keep this as transparent as possible and keep everyone informed of not only what the neighborhood is thinking, but your plans as well.
Sure, that's true.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I ask
Yes,
one more question?
Any more questions?
Have you done any kind of traffic study?
I haven't done a traffic study, no.
Okay.
Will an ERI be performed? Will it have to have that to do any?
In EIR?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, the county, the planners, if they want to.
That's environmental impact report,
Right.
especially being next to the marsh,
Yeah,
right there.
I don't think
It's
that's.
exempt.
You said you were a 51% owner?
Yeah,
Who's the other 49%?
yeah, we didn't, I thought we were gonna mention them, Brian Dahl and Peter Marshall. I can spell their-
Dahl and Peter
Brian
Marshall.
Dahl is DAHL
And who are they?
and Peter Marshall.
Brian worked with Susie and also worked for this 420 med evaluations. He lives in Sacramento, and he's the person that recommended Kimberly to Susie. And he's, if this happens, he would relocate here from Sacramento and be a manager of the store itself. And Peter Marshall, I spoke a little about before. Peter Marshall had these two entities, and one in Malibu, one in Beverlywood, both in Los Angeles.
So he'd be a part owner of this one also.
And he would, and he lived in Berkeley for 12 years. He's a graduate of UC Berkeley.
Is he a part owner in your dispensary?
No.
No. Are you the sole owner of your dispensary?
So, Susie, to summate, from my perspective, as
Yeah.
somebody who deals with numbers for a living, none of your numbers add up. You don't need 3 bud tenders for 5 people an hour. There's and just start there and go all the way down the line, none of your numbers add up. So that equals either your business plan is seriously flawed, or you are not being truthful about what you really expect to make your dispensary work. And, you know, this group is not, you know, we didn't just fall off the turnip truck yesterday. We've done our research. We understand that all the rest of the dispensaries have traffic levels that are 5-10 times as high as you're quoting. I plainly don't believe you.
Susie, can you bring up the budgets? And we'll show you. And these budgets are based on reality. I've managed dispensaries for 10 years, and we use QuickBooks, we do our taxes. These are all, you know, you'll see our profit and loss statements. We've budgeted out from our startup first year out through 3 years. And so, you know, we're starting with 20 patients a day, and then we'll come up to 40 patients a day, and then eventually 60 patients after a year. And so we can show you year 1 and year 2 and year 3. And this is all based on reality. Once again, I've been doing this for a decade, so I know what I'm doing, and so we want to show you the numbers so you can use your calculators and second check them.
I did want to add just that as far as those numbers go, that the bud tenders, as we're calling them, are not only there to wait on the customer. So in the times when it's slow, or there's not enough people to see, there are a lot of
Sampling?
other job tasks for them to do. What'd you say?
Sampling?
Sampling, yeah. That affects the profitability.
Yeah, right.
So, back to Eric's comment about the numbers, the last group we heard from was planning to put in a 3,000 square foot new building and use the existing 1,500 square foot house. And they're dealing in the same exact area that you guys are planning your.
Well, I think you're right, it's a good point. I think that it's possible, if that's your goal, you can see, if you appeal to those commuters, you can maybe get to 300, 400, 500 people a day, and then you need 3,000 square feet.
Right, that's our
building.
fear.
Yeah, Susie really doesn't want that, that's not her vision, and that's not gonna happen in that 740 square foot building there. And, there's no, it's not gonna be possible to grow, like, if the Marin County approves this location, they're not approving where you can then grow and take over the market. You're gonna be limited to that space, that license is gonna be just for that space, just like this license in Malibu is for the 505 square feet. He can't grow that. That would require a whole new application, a new license.
I think this plan fits into our area much better than the 3,000 square feet,
Right.
obviously.
Right.
But the location for the parking and the traffic, getting people in and out,
It's
is
a
really
challenge.
is really a drawback,
Yeah.
okay?
No, I
And
agree.
the idea that there's no other dispensary with 50,000 people
Yeah,
seems to be a little too much to count on just a minimal amount of people.
well, I think that I understand your concern, and all I can say is that if it is where 60 people can get medicine at this location a day, that's 60 people that don't have to drive across to, I don't know where they're going now to get it.
Berkeley or Kentucky,
Right, exactly.
Vallejo,
Right, Vallejo's
you
not
can't
too-
get to Vallejo, the traffic's too bad. Please come out on a Friday afternoon.
Okay.
Please come out on a Friday afternoon after it's rained a substantial amount. Tell us how much you're gonna love that parking lot.
Yeah, well, that's, right. I think he will improve the parking lot. I know that he'll take that trash area that's right in the middle of the parking lot and put that somewhere
You
else.
know, it's not a parking lot issue. The flooding wasn't as bad in some ways until they fixed the road. So when they fixed the road, they fixed him even worse, so, you know, unless he's gonna put a sump pump in or whatever, you know.
Actually, he was talking about tying into, getting off the septic and tying into a sewage line that's up towards the golf course.
That'll never happen.
No,
It's not gonna happen.
Never happened.
He's not within the Nevada Sanitary District boundaries.
okay,
He's not within the city boundaries.
I see,
There's a whole host of reasons why that's not gonna happen,
I see.
unless there's a huge infusion of money.
Well, there will be that, because
Well, then again, your numbers don't work. like that.
well, he's got,
You know,
a
everything
lot of
that
the
you
cost
back
of
to
doing
the numbers
business,
don't work.
it's about a percentage, and it does work, the numbers would work. No one's Susie's not gonna get rich off of this, but it will thrive as a business. It just won't make a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a nonprofit, so we
But that
have,
doesn't mean anything, I'm sorry.
no, it does. We've structured the budgets, we've
Exactly,
structured the budgets to cover all the costs of doing business.
including
but-
wages and salary for everyone.
Absolutely, yes.
High wages.
Yeah,
We
$15
would have a
an
$15
hour.
minimum wage.
Ah, what's happening? Okay, somehow we have to just get it to focus, and then you can see the budgets. Oh, great.
Yes, I do.
Wonderful.
Can I make a suggestion? Some people wanna see the budget, just show them on the computer
Okay.
afterwards. I think we've pretty much gone round and round, we're just kinda running over old stuff.
Okay,
Should we just call it an evening and
sure,
anybody wants to look at numbers, they can come up and do it?
There are 3 logos here, which Susie did want some feedback, if anyone here prefers one to another, because it would be the signage, there would be a sign on the front of the building. It wouldn't be lit.
What do you think of these?
Glenn,
He's gonna turn the lights on.
Glenn, can you see that signage in the camera?
He's gonna turn the
Well,
lights on.
no, somebody's gotta turn on a light.
There you go.
Thank you.
Are virtually all these dispensaries nonprofit?
They are by law. Yeah, and presently they are in
Gotcha.
California.
I believe it says compassionate caregivers on the bottom, I believe.
Right, yes, Marin compassionate.
Even after 64, they have to be?
No, not after 64 for the recreational ones.
Susan,
then
No,
they
I'm
will
talking
not-
about the medical.
Face
It's
toward
not-
Medical
Yeah,
will still be
thank you.
nonprofits,
But aren't the medical and the recreational gonna be combined?
yeah. No,
Thank you, Susie.
Yeah,
they'll be
sure.
separate.
Personally,
That
I
isn't how
prefer
it
the
happened
one
in
on the
Colorado,
right.
though, is it?
Yeah,
It is,
Without
in
the-
Colorado,
Yeah,
they
I
have
understand.
medical, like in Boulder, you have to have a medical marijuana card to get, but in Aspen, it's recreational. Anyone that has an ID, 21 years old, doesn't even matter what state you're
But
from.
aren't some of the cities have combination medical and?
Maybe in Denver, Denver allows recreational, so Denver, I don't know if they have any medical, I'm not sure.
So speaking, since you're showing the logos, you didn't mention how the front of the building will look. You said that
Right.
it'll be a wall and then you're gonna pick one of these logos, will
Well,
there be a
basically,
sign?
it'll look exactly like it looks now, except that garage door,
Does Susie know?
yeah, she can speak.
Thank you.
yeah. So the sign will just be the logo. It'll be like a 3 foot by 4 foot sign.
3x4 on that door.
Yeah, in the front of the building.
And then
No
the
additional
driver.
signage, no. Nothing that says medical marijuana on it.
And if the entrance is in the back,
Yeah, then the sign will still be on the front.
oh, okay. How will they know to get to the back?
Oh, we'd have to have signs,
Oh, so you'd have other signs.
To have a
And a
sign that says
pathway.
entrance, you know,
entrance in the back.
in the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
in the back.
Go to
There'd have
that,
to be a-
stupid.
Number.
I prefer the one on the right with the heart.
Okay,
I do too.
okay.
I think that one looks the most medical,
Non-pop, yeah.
most
Yeah.
compassionate probably.
Yeah,
It looks like a first aid symbol though.
Well, it is-
yeah,
Yeah,
it'd be confusing.
it is confusing.
Okay.
I like the lines underneath representing the water.
I prefer the middle.
We can combine them.
What do you have to say about Berkeley Patients Group? It came in with a pretty slick,
They are, well, there's
high
a
money
reason,
issue.
there's a reason why they're the second most successful dispensary in the world. They obviously know what they're doing, and I respect them. I just think that they're the Costco of marijuana, you know, as is Harborside. And the Harborside, the numbers I've heard are about 22 million a year at Harborside, 18 million a year at Berkeley Patients Group.
And nonprofit.
That's a pretty big nonprofit.
And they do
Nobody's
some-
making a lot of money.
Right, I don't know where they're giving, I don't know what they do with their money.
Big salaries.
I don't know, yeah.
What percentage of your customers pay in cash, or what's your, is that on your budget part or no?
Most,
It's not,
Most.
the majority.
The banks don't take cash, so there'll be money on site.
and they do have ways to deal with that, but yeah, the cash, that's one of the main reasons for security at these dispensaries.
You've never been
is the
held up
cash.
or anything? And will you, another question that they had for the other group was, will you be doing any delivery service out of
We
this
don't plan
location?
to,
No.
we don't plan to, unless, I mean, we can
And
make an
maybe
exception if
emergency or-
for someone who can't leave their house, you know, someone who's disabled or.
But, yeah, we talked about it, and Susie didn't feel like wasn't interested in getting in the delivery business. And I agree with that, I just think it's kind of risky, so, yeah.
Just the last thing for me is, when you put together your proposal and you say, my customer base is this and my hours of operation, and you propose, you show everybody, and that's the idea. What keeps you at that location? What keeps you at that number? What keeps you at those hours? What keeps you at those parking lots? What keeps you from expanding? Because once you have your permit, you know, now you got the green light for step 2 and step 3. And as a caregiver, okay, a compassionate caregiver, it's hard for you to turn away patients because you're in business also. So you're gonna go say, wow, we had 60, but there were so many people in need, it turned into 120. And there were so many people in need, we had to open up a second facility. So can you tell us how that works?
Yearly review.
Oh, yeah, there's a yearly review by issued by the county.
So the county would be under that control.
Right, and they
Yeah.
see they're only issuing a license for 1 year at a time.
1 year in terms
And
of
so
annual
you have to
review of
pass,
it.
then they review you, and you have to live up to those promises you made, or they can take that license away. And they will be responsible to the community as well, or responsive, I mean. So, if there really are real problems, God forbid, like someone getting killed on the highway there, and it's related to this business being there, you know, we're, you know, gonna have this, as you said, as someone said, a pretty big investment here. And if that were to happen, something like that, and that could end up creating enough backlash that they take the license away. And so, you know, Susie and the other people that are invested are going to have to do everything they can to make sure that kind of thing doesn't happen. So, you know, that's the truth.
Are you gonna be, Susie, at the facility every day, or do you work somewhere else?
You know, I'll be at the facility.
Okay,
I don't work somewhere else.
so, but you won't be the manager?
I won't be the manager.
You'll be, what position will you be?
I'll be coming in, I mean, I'm a director of Marin Compassionate Caregivers, but I'll be coming in to help as a doctor, help patients. So I'll be there to be able to almost be like a consultant.
So you won't be
And
one of
to-
the buds people?
No,
Okay.
yeah, I'll be able to talk to patients and be able to sit down with them if maybe and just be there to help the staff with medical questions.
Thank you.
So, are there any last questions before?
One last question. If one of us needs some of these products for pain or something else, is there an area here in Marin where we can get these online or from a
You're not
delivery
allowed to
service?
sell
or anything?
online, that's the thing, you
What?
can't sell online.
Well, if you go on, if you Google it,
No, but I mean, there's no way legally to obtain medical marijuana online.
okay, is there anybody to consult on which one to use at this point? Obviously, you can purchase.
Well, you'd have to go to a dispensary to get
No,
that.
No,
Well-
this isn't true, because we have people dispensing it right now in Marin, delivery services.
Well, if they're good, I mean, I don't know,
Yeah.
let's assume that they're really good quality dispensaries,
Right.
a delivery service, then they have a responsibility to know what they're selling, and I would
So
hope.
how do we find out about what product is proper?
I guess
for-
you call them, I guess you contact them and really be sincere and say, you know, I've got a specific problem, I wanna know if you have a specific medicine for it. You know, and say you don't want any
But
bullshit.
now that 64's passed, it doesn't kick into 2018.
18, right,
Okay, so it's not gonna be available at this point?
no,
Even though
But
some of these
I-
products are.
right. I would say it's, right now, it'd be worth the drive to go over to either Berkeley Patients Group or Harborside, cause they both have excellent people there that will know what they're talking about.
So, I just wanna remind everyone, so we've had two groups now, two applicants present to the neighborhood and the community, and we have there's a third applicant that we haven't yet heard from, who may or may not speak, to the community. And at this point, there will be public hearings coming
Yes.
up. They've tentatively scheduled them for January, but, they're kind of behind, so we're not sure exactly when those will be. The Blackpoint Improvement Club will publicize as soon as we know of hearing dates. It's important not only that you all came here to give your feedback to the applicants, but that you also go to the hearings, and give your feedback to the decision makers.
Yeah.
And we may or may not be able to have you guys back for a second round, depending on how it all plays out in the future. So we appreciate that you came out here tonight, and all of you for coming. All right, and if anyone needs contact information for the group that's opposed to the dispensaries or for one of the applicants, we'll be happy to share that with you, and we will email out a copy of this video shortly in the next few days. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks
for
for
the
coming.
opportunity to.
And thank you for the goodies.
Oh, you're welcome.
Do you have a service